anybody have a backup?
Okay, we're recording now.
Oh, we are, okay, I'll start again. This meeting is called to order by Lori Gannell at 5:31 p.m. December 7, 2022. Roll call of board members: Ed Briggs.
Here.
Peter Gafford.
Present.
Yeah. Stephen Green, excused. Lori Gannell, here. Ben Lepley, excused. Scott Perfect.
Present.
Ted Schriever.
Here.
Frank Davis, council liaison.
Here.
Okay, and staff liaison. Joe Ward is here. Okay. New business agenda item, no, first there's, sorry, call to the public. Residents of the city of Bisbee may speak regarding any design review board topics that are not on the agenda. Speaking time is limited to 3 minutes. Does anybody have an item they would like to speak about? No. Okay, we will close the call to public. Agenda item number 1, application number 22-82, 78 Main Street. Michael Clements, representing himself. Hello, Michael.
Hi.
Go ahead and make your case.
Well, my sign's already been approved, it's just a window decal that I'm trying to get done.
Okay. You want to tell us a little about it? We saw an
It's
image.
the logo of my business.
Okay, this is it, right?
Yep.
And the dimensions are 3 by something?
It's like 3 by 4.
3 by 4. Okay. Okay, so that's it, right? That's your presentation. Does anybody have questions? Oh, sorry. Is there anybody, public comments on this item? Anybody speaking for or against Michael's sign for his business? Okay, I have a thumbs up, but nobody's speaking, all right? So close the public comment. Staff comments?
I had approved his sign because it met the criteria from the design standards for the Bisbee Historic District, but the window decal was a little bit asymmetrical from what we're used to, and as far as we got specific lettering and everything, I thought it best just to bump it to you guys for your approval.
Okay, thank you. Closing staff comments and opening the board discussion. Does anybody on the board have questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
When are you opening?
As soon as I get this signed.
Okay.
Hopefully by the end of the month.
Great.
Mr. Schriever asked when he's opening. Does anybody else have any comments about the sign? That's not it, it's this one.
So that's the actual sign that he just saw, right?
Oh, that's the actual sign.
Yeah, that, and then this, what I'm just trying to get approved right here is the window decal.
This is really not relevant, right?
Right, it's the window below that.
It's the window, yeah,
Which is a vinyl decal.
Yeah. No, I think it's uniquely bizarre, which is what we love.
Yes.
I don't have an issue with it.
Okay. Anybody else?
No.
Anybody like to make a motion on application 22-82? Yes?
Peter?
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 1, DRB number 22-82 as submitted.
I second. Oh, we're just doing ayes and nays, right?
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Okay, your sign is passed unanimously by the design review board. Thank you,
very much.
Michael.
Well, what's my next step then?
To have it open by the end of the month?
Yeah, just
It's in the minutes.
get busy on the sign, right, Joe? I mean, that's it, right? He just gets the sign made.
As far as the DRB is concerned,
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, but I've paid for the application for that and then the permit to hang the sign, so nothing else, I don't have to get another permit or anything?
you should be good to go if you've already got that permit. Well, you know what, you don't have the full permit because we wouldn't have given it to you
The hanging permit I got.
for the hanging sign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, so that's it then, I don't need another.
I think it is. If it's not, I'll get a hold of you.
Okay, perfect. And everything passed this morning, I heard?
Everything went good this morning.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everybody, I
you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
See you soon.
Okay, we will move on to application number 22-83108, Tombstone Canyon. Would anybody in the room, or are there any letters of public comment on this application for or against? 108 Tombstone, yes, come on up. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Patricia Lisi, 108 Tombstone Canyon. I purchased the property in January of 19, and you were all so gracious to approve stairs and re-siding for me back then. I hope that you have a packet in front of you besides the One World Energy proposal for the
The
solar.
black and white ones.
Yes, I added recent pictures of the stairs completed, the siding and the new paint, along with the original pictures that you had approved for the siding.
Okay, we didn't know what these were because not all of us were on the board at the time.
Got it.
Right,
Right.
so
So I
those
just
are-
wanted
this is
to-
work that's been done.
Right, so
Thank you.
One World Energy has given you a packet that explains the solar package that I would like to put on the property, and I wanted to give you the updated pictures of the approved work from before. And so I don't know if you have any questions for me, or if you want any more information. Hopefully you have everything in that packet from One World Energy to make a decision whether or not this is aesthetically pleasing to Old Bisbee.
So of course, all of us have been by this building, so we know what it looks like. I'm just asking, so these solar panels would be on the front side and visible from the street, is that correct?
Their current plan, yes, it shows in their diagram, 10 on each, 10 on the back side and 10 on the front side. I've done a photoshopped photo of what it would look like if that was exactly how it was. I don't know if they could possibly get everything they needed on the backside, and/or I would be willing to, if they would do it, to be putting it on the garage roof that is the left angle, because that actually is the roof that gets sun all day. The front roof of that property really isn't in direct sun all day, so if that's not something that you would, like to see, I can see if they would, do up a different design, so that's.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Lacy, is the patio that's marked on the back there, is that solid roof?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just looking at the size of the panels and imagining moving them to the back.
The patio is not solid, that is, concrete open.
Okay, so it's not
back to the
covered.
wall.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That answers my question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will open this up for staff comments. Any comments from you, Joe?
I'd rather see the panels on the back than visible in the front, especially along Main Street.
Okay.
But that's my opinion is all.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, closing staff comments and opening for board discussion.
I believe we do have a stipulation that it can't be seen from the street. Is that
I
correct?
believe so.
Okay, so, well, I think that moves it to the back of the roof,
Okay.
from our standpoint.
Well, and I came then, because they weren't apparently too applicable for you guys. I don't even know if you got the email from them, so I can pass on that information and see if they can revise a design and then come back.
Yeah, I don't know that they didn't consult with us.
Right.
In making the
They're the one that put in the request for the permit to the design review board, but apparently they didn't follow up to make sure you got the information, so I can follow up and see if they could give a different design to put it on the back.
Okay, I think it's just a matter of process, the
Back
question.
and garage?
Well, the back of the,
No, I know it's gonna be the back of the house.
Right.
But can it be the garage?
No,
From the side.
if I'm not
And the garage
mistaken,
peaks?
it's a gable roof and one
The
side
garage is a gable
faces,
this way, you
one
face the
side
front.
faces west, one side faces
Right.
east.
Yes, so
So
the
either
east
side of
side.
that garage is gonna be seen from the street. Correct?
Yes,
Okay. Again, we have a stipulation that it can't be.
So as
Same-
long as they can get
same
what I
from the
need on the
street.
back of the main building and not visible from the street, that's what we'd like to see. Okay.
So the garage is not applicable?
Garage is that,
Yes.
okay.
So,
Okay.
in which case, we could pass this with the stipulation that there are no solar panels visible from the street, and they're only on the back side of the building.
That would be helpful time-wise.
Mhm.
And I can resubmit to you, a layout via email of it on the back.
Yeah, it would be great if you could submit it actually to Joe,
Perfect.
and then Joe can let us know if it's acceptable, maybe tell 9 and she can send us an email.
Okay.
Okay, and then, yeah, so, any other staff comments or questions? Give them another minute to look it over.
I don't want to disagree with my esteemed colleague. I
Yeah.
don't think we absolutely say it mustn't be. We recommend that
It is.
you minimize the visibility. And in the existing regs, we don't actually address solar. It might be in the code.
Yeah, I think Pete is right about
It's
that.
not in the guide, it's not in our
Yeah.
guidelines.
If you can get them to lay flat on the roof, that's the bigger thing.
Would you like me to go get my zoning code? It's in the, I have my zoning code in the truck.
Yeah, which way?
I think I've got it.
Okay,
And to
hold
my
on, I'll
knowledge,
grab it.
they are flat on the roof,
Yeah,
and they are black mirror reflective, which aesthetically doesn't trample.
Yeah, I think,
I just remember speaking about one project that we had when I first got on the board, is that it was very important that you couldn't see the panels, and we were concerned about seeing the edges of them
Yeah,
on
I
the street.
think that was the one on High Road.
That was one on Brewery Gulch.
my concern is that it is right in kind of the heart of
Yeah.
Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right,
And it's
it's
gonna be
very visible.
blatantly seen.
It will be
yeah.
really easy to see.
As much as I think that the general trend is to minimize the impact.
Right.
But I don't believe it's an absolute deal breaker. If you could see it, it'd be awfully nice if you could.
I'll ask for clarification at this point. I just want to make sure that we don't.
If we can, then it's.
Yeah, I would like to know that, because that was my biggest question about this one.
But we're agreed that we prefer it not to be seen.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
I mean, that would be,
Yeah, I understand.
if possible.
Is there a zoning, a regulation pertaining to solar panels?
What'd you say?
Is there one pertaining to solar panels?
I think there's a whole section.
In the right place, huh? What states is 615C1, locate the solar devices in an inconspicuous location.
Excuse us,
Pardon?
we're just trying to hear Joe.
Thank you.
Okay, this is zoning code 6.15, solar energy devices. C and paragraph 1 says locate the solar devices in an inconspicuous location. And then has the question, can it be located inside your rear or side yard in a manner that limits their visibility due respect to the historic landscape features? So I think that would be an important feature.
Yes,
you consider.
absolutely. Okay.
I think we should.
And you might want to clarify whether that's a standalone or on a roof, but I get the idea, and I would prefer to have them on the back too, so I can see if they can redesign that.
Okay, so is the best path forward to put a contingency on this?
Yeah.
And then have us, and submit the new plans to staff, which is Joe?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so,
absolutely possible.
okay, thank you. So would anybody like to make a motion? Peter?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve application number 2283 with the provision that the panels are placed inconspicuously to the rear of the house.
And new plans are submitted to staff.
And revised plans are submitted to building inspector prior to installation.
Great. Do we have a second?
Everybody have it?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Perfect. All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. Okay, your application is passed unanimously with the provision that you just heard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, okay. Great. Okay, closing out, yes, sorry.
Just as an aside,
Yes.
I think there was a misunderstanding on the letters of support. I think they actually belong to the second application.
Right, there were two, yeah, there were two or three in support.
And I think there was another one, yeah, there was two or three, there was one against, but there was two or three on the tender.
Yes, okay. All right, so we're moving on to more solar panels. Application 22-84, 21 Tembe Avenue, and this is also for solar panels. The representative will come up and speak, or no? Thank you. Oh, sorry, I'm out of order here. Are there any opening for public comments? Are there any public comments for or against? So let Mr. Ward read the public comments. I believe there is a comment for or against.
Yeah, it seems like there's a couple of them.
There's three.
One for and one
Three or
against
four, I think.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah, usually Nina would read these,
Okay.
since they were submitted.
So we've got, one says, we live on the adjoining property, Quality Hill Road. Hold on, where am I at? Oh, this is Tempe, huh?
Yeah, this is Tembe.
Yeah, it's adjoining property on Quality Hill Road, but that doesn't fit in very well with what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
But it says that they support the addition of solar panels. I believe this belonged to Miss Lacy. This is her
Okay.
neighbor in the back.
Okay,
Okay, and this one's Larry Scritchfield, says, I support the installation of solar panels at 21 Tembe Avenue.
okay.
And I think I saw another one that somebody had written
Yeah, today we did receive another one, but I don't
that said,
have-
I do not agree with putting in solar panels in the historic district at all.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. And
Yeah.
then there was also another one in favor.
Yeah, the most recent one was from Mr. Boad DeCruff.
Can you read it? Is it just
Sure.
short?
Yeah. Sure. I'm a Tembe Avenue resident within the 300-foot coverage area of 21 Tembe. I strongly support the installation of solar panels on my neighbor's home. I'm gratified to see that homeowners take the initiative to invest in their homes, neighborhood, and the city of Bisbee. Unfortunately, Tembe Avenue has a high number of derelict structures which stand in sharp contrast to the property in question. Historic neighborhoods must adapt towards clean energy investments, not deter them. The location of this home near the top of Bisbee makes solar panels nearly invisible to the rest of the community. And that came in on Monday.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have 2 in favor and 1 against in the public comments. All right, and then closing public comments. You may speak.
Hello, my name is Art. I'm the representative for Our World Energy. I was sent here just to take notes and observe and see how everything goes. I have no much comments on any of the information put out, but I'm here to process if it will get approved or not.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, opening this one up for staff comments.
This one has gone forward and they've installed them, you know. But
Oh.
It may not be their fault. It's kind of up in the air right now whether or not it's their fault or the city's fault that if a permit was issued. I can't blame One World Energy. So I'm not saying that it's their fault just yet, and it's been a crazy week so far, so I haven't even looked into that. But
Okay.
I want you guys to be aware that it was installed, and they kept telling me, it's like, and I said, no, don't install them. You can't install them, and they seem to be hell bent on installing them,
Okay,
and I wasn't too happy with them.
okay.
But it may fall back onto us too, yet.
When you say fall back onto us, what do you mean?
The city.
To the city, if the city issued them a building
Oh,
permit,
onto the
then I
city.
really can't blame them as much as I blame our process.
Right.
It would have been, an accident, and I told them that they're, if they have a permit on hand, it's rescinded. We can't let them go forward with it without the DRB, because we cannot issue permits without DRB permission on these things, and if it happened, it was an accident, and, we can't be held down.
So is the entire job in place?
I believe it is, isn't it?
I have no comment.
They asked me to come do a final inspection. I told them I won't do a final inspection. They told me I have to come do a final inspection. I said, I can't do a final inspection. I won't do a final inspection. And if you had a permit, it's no good now. And we kind of went back and forth with that. They're very persistent.
Yeah, we have a comment?
I'm one of the homeowners, and so I can say, yes, they're installed. We were not aware that there was not a valid permit, our apologies. I will say, in terms of visibility, Tenby's really, especially our house, is way uphill. I think if you go across to the highway and look with binoculars, you might be able to see them from there.
I did a drive-by and I couldn't see them.
Yeah, exactly, and you might be able to see them from above, of course, from High Road, but some of them are a little bit on the back side, a few of them are on the front, they're very flat to the roof. And I think they've at least, even if it wasn't done with the proper permission, was at least done in a way that would be acceptable.
Because of your location.
Yeah.
So my question is, how can we prevent this from happening again?
Can I back up one, or get ahead of you with that question just for 1 second? What are we doing here about this? Are we able to pass this? Is there any reason to pass this if you've still got to do?
No, but your job is to define whether or not you want to retroactively approve these panels, to say that the panels can go where they are.
Okay, all
And
right.
we can't do it, we're not supposed to do anything, and things slip through the crack. We get, we're on back and forth, and Lorraine is taking care of 10 different things, and, that the permits, I could see that a permit could get through,
Okay.
and it's not too hard to imagine.
So if we go ahead and retroactively approve this, then you're gonna go and do your final inspection?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry, Dean.
Okay, so I still have to open this up for board discussion, so I think
Oh.
we want to do that now, don't we?
Well, I think we're staff discussing.
Yeah, since are you finished, Joe?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we'll close the staff discussion and open it up for board discussion.
Well, I couldn't see them, so absolutely I have no objection whatsoever.
Okay,
Same
great.
here,
Good enough for me.
You can't see
Yeah.
them, I don't think it's an issue for us at all if they're not visible.
And I also went by and I could not see them. I didn't know they were installed, actually.
No, that's a good.
So, because I didn't see them.
So,
Well, I guess my problem is, it sounds like we have a very aggressive company.
Well,
we
yeah,
have
that
to-
is,
That we have to do something, in the future.
And there's a representative for the company, so we can give that message to.
yes.
Absolutely. I processed everything that was said, so
Okay.
I'll take this information down and take it back to my supervisor.
So any future projects would have to go before
Because I think
us.
if this happens again and they install them, I would have to say they're gonna have to take them out,
yeah,
just as a warning.
knowing that you're supposed to come through us first.
Do you know what Old Bisbee is?
What I do know of Old Bisbee is it's historic. It's
Yeah.
It's,
You know where the pit is? Anything uphill from the pit, that's all in the historic district. Everything down below, you don't have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Are you
Just-
from the
it's-
area?
Tucson,
Okay.
almost a neighbor, a cousin, I guess.
It just doesn't sound.
Yeah, through the 10 years of solar that I've done, many companies, the plan is to always hide it as much as possible. Technology evolves, we get smarter, we find better ways, but as of now, thank you. I'm definitely gonna take this back, and hopefully the supervisors could be on the same page and definitely go through you before we skip another page, you know?
Because it's fortunate that her property is in a place where we can't see them.
Absolutely.
If we could, we might have to have you uninstall them in the place where we could see them, which would be probably an expense to your company. You know what I'm saying? Which you don't want.
Yeah, that's the beauty of solar. It's like Legos. It's easily replaceable. You can add on, take off, and that's the beauty of it. But yeah, thank you so much, and I hope for the best. But the future's tomorrow, so we will do better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do better.
Thank you.
Just go back and tell everybody that they have to follow proper procedure next time.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Okay. I will definitely tell them that.
This is not a,
Because yeah, basically is it's to me and it's historic, of course, but to me it's also a place to get away, and I can see why they're very strict on certain areas, historic areas, and Main Street it's a beautiful place, but yeah, absolutely, you know, we got to keep it that way and not bring the city here, you know.
Okay, would anybody on the board like to make a motion on application 22-E4?
Scott's turn.
I'll make a motion that we retroactively approve DRB number 2284.
I second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against say nay. Okay,
Who seconded?
yes, I second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, your application has been unanimously retroactively approved.
Thank you all.
Okay, moving right along.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone have a good night.
Yeah,
lovely
you
night. I
too.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so
Thank
much.
Absolutely.
Okay,
See you, Steph.
agenda item number 4, application 22-87, 148 Key Avenue. Milena Sefrovich or John Sefrovich? Hello. Oh, am I supposed to open for public comment?
Elena's representative, John Severovich.
Okay, can I, I'm so sorry, I keep skipping things. I'm gonna open it up to public comment. Is there anybody who would like to speak in favor of or against this application? Okay, all right. Proceed, please. Okay, thank you.
Basically, what do you need?
Tell us what your application is, your proposal.
We're gonna leave the same footprint of the existing house. We're gonna raise the roof 36 inches to provide space up in the attic for a loft area. And that's basically it. Just raise the roof 36 inches.
Okay,
No footprint, no addition, no nothing.
okay, that's the extent of
That's the
your
extent.
presentation, okay. Anybody have questions before I move on to public comments?
Siding, same,
Siding's the same,
everything's the same.
exterior siding's the same. Exactly.
Okay, now I will open up for public comment. Anybody like to speak in favor of or against this application? No, okay. Closing public comments and staff comments.
Deja vu,
I said the same thing, deja vu. Yeah, deja vu.
that's all.
That's all you have to say, okay.
You guys, it's in your court.
Okay, thank you, and I'm opening this up now for board discussion. Anybody like to start?
We're revisiting this house.
Again.
Well, that's revisiting. We're revisiting this house. And we went through a lot of back and forth on
And it seemed to me that the sticking point was raising the roof on the
Was.
second story.
The demolition of the roof.
Right, so where do we move on from here? Because, the other one was, well, it was halted because of, things that we were asking the homeowner to do. Whether or not those were, good asks from the homeowner or not, are irregardless on that one. But again, this one seems to smack of the same thing.
So I will say this, the previous design was a little bit different in that it had a porch all the way around and a couple of other things, and this one does not. But the first one, the one by the previous applicant, had like an additional porch around, like a wrapper.
That, I don't recall that being, a
A
source
stick-
of
no, it wasn't.
contention.
It was the roof.
It was all about the second story.
And sort of like one of our questions at the time was, why did you buy a little house if you wanted a big house? Because that is a partial demolition of a historic structure. And this is a historic town, and it's our job to protect the historic integrity of the town. This has come before our board
Yeah, I understand.
two previous times with a similar request to demolish the roof and raise it up.
Lori, if I could make a comment?
Yes.
I think, if I remember correctly, the issue before was he didn't have a demolition permit, and they were asking for that.
Yes.
I don't think it was so much raising the roof, it was the procedural part of didn't have the permit to do the work. You know, they needed that included in their operation.
I think that was the first time, and then it came back to us, and we rejected it.
Well, again, this is a new application.
I know.
It's only 3 feet, so personally, I don't see it changing the historical style of it very much. And it's up to you guys, that's my comment.
Okay. Thank you, Frank.
Do we not ask for the demolition plan as part of the procedure
That's
then?
that's what was supposed to be given to us as a next step.
On the
Before we
prior.
could even consider it the last time.
Right.
It's been brought up, and it
Yeah.
was noted in the meeting that it had to be resubmitted with a demolition plan,
Yes.
because he considered that to be a major,
But he never
Renovation.
resubmitted, but it never came back.
it never came back.
He sold the house.
He sold the
Right.
house.
So, in fact, we have never denied the application.
No,
I know, because I was short on that April meeting, I didn't stay till the end, unfortunately. But that was my
unfortunately.
understanding.
He missed it.
But I did not, it was my understanding in reading back as best I can, that the motion was to just defer until such a time as they would present the demolition plans. So, in a sense, to be consistent, we would have to ask this owner to do the same.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not that we're denying the application, we've
No.
never denied the application,
Right.
but we would like to see the demolition plan so that we are consistent in our deliberations.
I agree with you.
Joe, please.
Would Mr. Severovich be able to amend his application on the fly, or do you want it to come back?
Well, he needs to get a
we
demolition
need it.
permit, right, with a plan that shows what the work is gonna be?
Well, I mean, the plan is,
Well, I know he's gonna raise the roof, right,
Yeah.
using the same materials.
What was the criterion for the demolition plan last time? We needed submitted from an engineer, I believe it was, right?
No, I don't think so.
No, we just
No.
needed a demolition
No.
permit,
Yeah.
It was
and-
higher too,
And if you
a little bit higher.
could
a
do
little
it,
higher.
you could approve it on contingency of getting the permit. I mean, they'll need the permit, so.
Why was that not done the first time?
I think you got involved with a lot of other stuff on that.
There
The
were,
footprint was
Yeah, there
changed
was
as
a lot-
well.
There
the
was a lot more
footprint was
going on there.
changed.
there was a
and-
war of wills.
Yeah, we did not approve of the design either, of the previous
Right.
applicant. I would say there were there were
I think
several
that was,
questions.
that was a lot of it.
This design here is exactly like the existing is.
Right.
Just,
You know,
No,
The
we,
dormers on the end, we're just
Yeah.
raising it 36 inches.
yeah, no, we understand.
The house on the upper hill is will be 6 foot below his roof line. Mr. Cummings' house will be 18 inches below,
yeah.
raising it 3 foot.
It seriously wasn't, the sticking point wasn't that roof being raised at all? Because I just remember.
It was a big part of it.
Discussion.
It was a big part of
About
it,
that.
but it wasn't the only thing.
No.
Seemed like there was a pitch change also, wasn't there?
There was a pitch change also. There were quite a few
I
things.
think it was more than just raising the roof, and he's only going 3 feet straight up.
Yeah,
You'll have,
I mean, it looks at-
you'll have notice.
I think it's a different
I mean, it looks
situation
identical when you look at the
It is.
view.
with last time,
oh yeah, it is, definitely.
in many ways.
I'm just asking for clarification as everybody recalls, so I can get, for my edification.
I think you need to look at this as a new application, don't keep
Absolutely. No,
going on the old application.
But at the same time, if we've got the same elements in the first application as the second application,
Just
I
take
need,
it
for my
fresh.
edification, I need to ask those
No,
questions.
you're right, absolutely. Okay.
When I look back in the notes, the previous applications were raising the roof to 2610. This is substantially lower than that. This is 17 plus 3, this is 6 feet lower than the old.
No, it wasn't,
It's just by a few feet though, isn't it?
no, I think it's like maybe a foot and a half
Sit down.
less. But there was more going on in that previous
Sit down.
application. I'm sitting,
Get up that center.
yes.
I don't see why we can't
No,
approve
with the provision that, yeah.
with the contingency that a permit is provided and submitted to Joe
Yeah,
and approved by Joe, and then he can move on as he needs to.
okay, do we have a motion?
Apparently we do.
Was that a motion?
Would you like to make a motion?
Okay, let me get my numbers correct. I make a motion that application 22-87 be approved as is, with the contingency that a demolition permit
Sure.
be acquired and submitted to Joe Ward. And then you can move on with your construction as planned.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Peter, did I word that okay? Perfect.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Nay. So the application passes 4-1.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My daughter's gonna be happy. Me too.
All right, moving on to application 22-90, 100 Quality Hill. Applicant Mary Gomez.
I'm Mary Gomez,
Hi.
and my address is 512 Hudson here in Bisbee. I'm representing St. Patrick's Church. We have the lower block.
Excuse us, could we have quiet in the
If you
public?
guys talk
Yeah.
outside, please, we're conducting business here.
Yeah.
So the lower lot of our church, behind the parish hall, we're opening for paid public parking. And we all know what an issue public parking is up in Old Bisbee, especially on the weekends. And when the new striping project happened recently, it took away all those kind of wildcat parking spaces, which is wonderful. And you can actually get safely up Quality Hill, and people aren't parked every which way when we come to church on Sunday morning. But it did take some parking spaces away. So we thought it would be an opportunity for us to generate some operational funds for the church by charging for the spaces in that lower lot. So the application is for signage to point people how to get into the lot. And so there, you have pictures in front of you.
Yes.
And if you have any questions about any of that, I won't be able to answer any technical questions.
Okay, that's all right. Let's see if anybody has any questions.
And if the application is approved, we would be working with a fellow by the name of Steve Millard, who has painted signs around Bisbee before. The two that I know of are in the Warren area, the Welcome to Warren sign and the Chewy's Cosina sign. And so
Yes,
he's real professional. And
Yes. So the sign will be when you're turning up the hill on that wall right there where there's currently temporary sort of vinyl banners.
yeah, there would be one there that's actually.
There's two
painted.
signs.
There's two signs, yeah, right.
So the one you're talking about, the painting would actually be on the concrete,
Yes,
and we would get rid of all that awful stuff that's there now.
yeah.
On the fence.
And the larger sign would be mounted on it's a chain link fence up there
Yes,
that's around the tennis court or basketball court, and we would mount that sign on, it's actually 17 inches above the top of the concrete. And then there's a mural below.
that's this one.
That's the one that would be painted on the concrete as you turn up the drive.
Okay,
So that's sign number 2.
this is sign number 2 would be on the concrete as you're turning up the hill towards St. Pat's.
No, you're already on Quality Hill and
Yeah.
you'd be turning into the parking lot.
Okay. All right, so,
And the other bigger sign.
yeah, this one,
Yeah, with the fingers.
Yes.
That one is the one we would like to put on the chain link fence, just
Oh, on
showing
the
people,
fence.
turn here and then turn in.
So both these signs are visible if you stood at the stop sign on the other side of the street. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, so we're looking on the same wall, so to speak, where the entrance is.
Exactly,
One is here and one is here.
yes.
Okay.
okay. Okay. Great. All right. Thank you. Do we have any public comments? I'd like to open it to public comments for or against. Anyone? No? Okay. Closing public comment, staff?
I was wondering if the board if they consider that the sign that's out there on the corner of Tombstone Canyon, if that would be considered an off-site sign, because if it were, then it needs a special use permit. But that's a separate issue. But do you consider that to be on-site or off-site? What's your feelings on that?
I would have considered it to be on-site.
Gut reaction on site.
Yeah, that was my first reaction, was on-site.
I just wanted to see how
Yeah.
you guys felt about that.
How about you all?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you. Okay, I will now open it up to board discussion. I think it looks very appropriate signage
I think
for this town.
after all those stop signs, this is anything but, it is an improvement.
It really is, that what we have up there now, there's a styrofoam thing that somebody did with a marker. We're not even sure what parishioner did that, but the problem was that people can't tell how to get into the lot, and
Yeah,
so that's what and we thought that the pointing fingers would be better than like just a plain old directional aerial, turn here.
Yeah.
It's more like a
It's not
suggestion, and
Interesting, yeah.
and the colors might not be exactly like what's in the sample, but we want to give the sign painter a little leeway, artistic leeway. I mean, they're not going to be purple and neon green,
Yeah.
but, you know, he might shade it differently or something like that.
And color's not really our purview, but, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that's, thank you, we
Sure.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll, make a motion, to approve application 22-90 as is, signage for St. Pat's.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Schreiber seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against say nay. None against. Okay, your application has been unanimously approved by the board.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay. Joe's clapping because we're finally
Getting close.
Okay, so our next item is a discussion and review of a complaint, which I have before me here.
Oh, we do number 6.
Yes, you were number 6, discussion and review of complaint
Well,
received regarding the roof at 134 Tombstone.
I need to tell you that I was able to purchase a building permit through the city, and I was purchased by One World, and Luke and I finished this project already today, so.
What? Okay,
Kidding.
yeah, oh yeah. What?
We already built it.
Like I was just there. I didn't see anything else.
Purchased by One World. I honestly don't know why I'm here. Well, there was a complaint filed, I don't know what it was, haven't been informed. I got a phone call from a man that said my presence here was mandatory.
Okay, so okay. How do we proceed on this one? I'm not quite sure.
First of
Is
all,
the
who
complaint by
requested
Brian Hall?
that you be here?
There was a complaint that the change on that roof was out of line, and that is one of the, a kind of almost a principal structure, since it's right there on Tombstone Canyon, and it is in the commercial district, and inappropriate to change the roof line so dramatically. And right now, it's a feature of that building, the steps and the split gables. And
Okay.
looking at it from that standpoint, I didn't disagree with what he said.
Okay.
But at the time when it went through, I didn't have a problem with it either. I'm not saying you guys made a mistake,
Yeah.
but it seemed like, well, let's, bounce it back to you guys to cover.
Okay.
But Mr. Massey changed his, he changed his application for his building permit
Let me
to
suggest-
fit more into retaining that split gable look, and we accepted that.
I made a mistake, Joe, because what Brian Hope, our draftsman,
Yes.
had not considered was the fact that if you don't raise what I'm gonna call the northern part of the building, do you have those drawings from my prior submissions?
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, if you don't raise it to the level of the highest ridge line, if you will, that's under the cupola,
Yes.
if you don't raise it there, then how am I going to address this problem? You'll see my head here hitting the gutter, that if someone were to walk along the street and hit their head on that gutter, they could sue somebody.
This is how the gutter has been though, right, for
Yes, it is.
time immemorial?
Yes.
It's the danger that it has always been. Since, I want to talk about this building from 2 points. One is aesthetically, and I understand Joe's or whoever's point, that made that complaint. What I want to do is take what's important and Bisbee-esque about this building and enunciate it. Not keep it the ramshackle, ad hoc, wishy-washy roof line that I consider it to be. I look at it every day, I live next door. The people who built the primary structure, which was a trolley house, trolley stop. And I think the architect is probably Northern European, I don't know. But had those people known what was going to happen to their building subsequently, they would have done what I want to do. There was no reason should we have to keep, if you'll notice in some of the drawings, I don't know if you have the full set of drawings and photographs that I had given you earlier.
I believe we did.
But if you'll notice, the swamp cooler is also very old. We keep that. Why do we have to keep the misshapen ridgeline simply because it was added on ad hoc inappropriately at the time. Its floor plan is, results and disadvantageously from the whole addition. So aesthetically, I don't think, if you notice the drawing where it shows one roof, one solid slate roof,
Yes.
you see that, okay? That's not really showing, it's not a straight line. There's two different buildings, if you will, and they're skewed from each other.
Right.
Right, and even if the ridge line is one ridge line, one height, one uniform height, complete building, even if it is, it's kinked.
Yes.
And it still retains the flavor of Bisbee as whoever is complaining about this wants it to look ad hoc and added on and I don't. And I think that I'm gonna have trouble figuring out a way to avoid this issue, as well as this door. I cannot walk in that door without stooping. That is gonna be the front door, the primary door. I can't go in there without stooping. Luke has broken his neck going through there, you can tell. So this point is in complete functional favor of raising the roof. Raising the roof again.
But it wasn't, your application wasn't to raise the roof.
What I did was, when Brian Hope, I started to say this a moment ago, he saw the note that we put on there. If you'll look on the drawing from the top, you'll see that the two angles are skewed.
Yes.
And so what we made the note to do was to cover that with some sort of flashing as those two angles come together. And it would be ugly to leave those two lines of what's going to be shale coming together without some decorative or ridge cap on them. And that was the purpose of the note. Now, the draftsman, Brian Hope, interpreted that to think that it was describing the necessity as board approval for a different ridge line, and that was not the case. We all agreed, and these drawings were approved with the straight height, the common ridge line.
Right.
You called it a delineation from the original to whatever was new.
Right.
That's what we
We
called
wanted a
for.
delineation so that it didn't look like it was.
And there would be, by virtue of that
Cap.
ridge cap coming down from
But
both sides.
Brian Hope said we didn't properly define delineation, so we're a bunch of nincompoops. But anyways.
Well, he took that notation to believe that, did I interrupt you?
No. Please,
Let
go
me
ahead.
try.
Go ahead.
He believed, and we discussed it, and I went ahead and submitted them to Joe, not recognize, first of all, the danger that's in. I might be liable for it if somebody hits their head on there, right? I don't know whose insurance is going to grandfather me.
I mean, has anybody really ever broken their skull on this, not seeing
Other
it?
than Luke.
I don't think that's the issue though. Because the application was not about that. So that's a separate issue.
The application and the drawings were to raise that part of the roof.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
is this the,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
is this, okay, this is the part,
Please
I
help
thought it
me
was the
find that
back.
drawing.
Yeah.
It was to raise that.
That part.
And if you'll notice, in this picture, do you see the massing here? This was done by somebody in an afternoon to build on this little ad hoc lean-to on the side here. Do you think that anybody, would you have approved that window sticking up in that corner like that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not right. It's not appropriate for this or anywhere else.
This is a strange thing, because this is not really an application per se.
No, it isn't.
It's just a discussion, really, with your input. And, I mean, I read the letter, and obviously Mr. Hope has a beef in general against the DRB.
Right.
Brian's the one who complained after he drew the plan?
Well.
I did not know who it was.
The reason the DRB has a reputation, I take issue at, actually. I was insulted by
You're
this.
kidding. I hired the guy and then he complains?
No, I'm
We
insulted
don't,
by this
is he the
letter.
one that complained?
Yes.
He is the one. I mean, that's the
I
letter.
don't give away complainants.
I don't know if he's responding to the complaint or if he's complaining.
Well, we
That's-
know it is.
He's
You're
no,
kidding.
he's complaining.
He's complaining.
Yeah,
You know,
so
the
the-
DRB, let me make a statement, please.
Go ahead.
DRB is a volunteer group of residents of Old Bisbee who have a passion for this town. we're not perfect. We do our best to make judgments based on every single case. There are no two houses alike in this town.
Right.
That's why we have a DRB. It's set up by the city, it's in the code that we have a DRB, and we do our best. I don't take lightly when someone generalizes and say we do a shitty job.
I
Excuse
can't
my
believe you
language,
did
but I
it.
don't.
I just can't believe it.
So, if we didn't make it clear, yeah, I don't say we're perfect, but if we didn't make it clear, I think we do have an understanding, thanks to your appearance tonight, I'm sorry I had to do that.
Thank you, sir.
That we have a delineation. I think this matter is closed.
Thank you.
But I remain pissed.
I understand you very well. I think that I
Okay.
would redraw those drawings to raise the roof line to the common height.
That's what they're telling you. Well, that's the indication I'm taking because we're not coming to a decision. This is for discussion only.
Yeah, this is
But
discussion.
the conclusion I'm drawing is that the board is on your side.
How do I respond to that other than?
Go to work.
But that's my conclusion because we're not
One of those bumps.
taking a roll call on this or anything.
Thanks, folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look open.
We will conclude agenda item number 6, our discussion.
Discussion.
You're good.
Yes. Thanks, folks.
So I take it you're gonna start pretty soon on the construction.
Yeah, we got the excavator there, we're ready to roll.
As soon as Joe's okay with the drawings, and I already bought the permits.
As soon as I finish his roof, we're jumping on that.
Good enough.
Thanks.
Bye, see you guys later.
Take care, guys.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 7, approval of the November 2nd Design Review Board meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes for November 2nd, 2022 are unanimously approved. Okay, and then we have agenda item number 8 is a discussion / update concerning the derelict house located at 805 Tombstone Canyon.
Why does that keep coming up?
That is the little green Victorian house that is falling apart. Yes.
Yeah.
And the yard is overgrown. So this is just something, we in the past said that we could discuss it.
And this is just, what's the road, it's almost on the corner?
It's on Tombstone Canyon,
Yeah, I know that.
right across from the park.
Just up.
When
I
else,
know the owners of the house next to it on the corner.
Yes, yes.
Lowell and Jean. Yeah.
Well, then, and in between that is Linda Santayana's house.
Yeah,
She's right
this
next
has been a
door.
problem like forever.
No, this
Since
house
I've-
is a
since I've been-
neglected house, for sure.
Yeah. They did a little bit of work a couple of years ago.
Joe, what can we do?
we're in a legal limbo right now because the lady whose name it's in is deceased.
Yeah,
And there is, it's still in her name, and that changes the nature of what we're able to do. And I think it's, did you guys met
who's
David
paying the
Hines?
taxes? Because she's been deceased for a while, right?
Isn't it
Yeah,
her-
she's been gone for,
Isn't it her nephew? Who is
What's
it? Her son, her grandson, or her nephew? Who is paying, who is claiming rights to the house?
I have no idea. I don't check the taxes on these properties.
Well, I could give you a little history on it back, and Joe could probably remember this.
Thank you.
I mean, we've been through this, we've been working on this house for 10 years, a long time. And we actually had a guy come down from Tucson.
David
that-
Hines.
That claimed that he owned it, which he didn't. But he did come down and do some work on it, on the roof. And as Joe says, I don't know, I haven't looked into it for a long time, but he was supposed to report to us every few months about progress, and that faded off.
Yeah, he just
You know,
stopped.
he's gone.
Nothing's been done
And
for a while.
so I think, now you could ask Joe to look into, or Nina, what the tax status is with it. But it's hard for the city to go ahead and do eminent domain work, because then the city has to pay value
But can it go up for auction if the taxes are delinquent, or if, you know?
I don't think
I doubt
that's-
if they are.
I don't think that's the case.
No, they're not. So somebody's paying taxes, so whoever that is,
It's
the person that
just
should-
fallen into disrepair, and
If
it is this gentleman that is claiming that he owns the house, which he doesn't.
right.
So I don't know where that's at, I guess, Joe, you could
There's
update that information.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of a folderol of legal situations
We've been
with the
working on it for a
house.
long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And just keep running into roadblocks. So I would say, ask Joe to update it at your next meeting, when he can find out.
I found nothing that Mr. Tynes ever told us that was credible.
Right.
okay. Right, yeah, I mean, it's sad because it's a really cool little house,
Yeah.
but it's also, you know, inviting pests that
Right.
can be a problem for the neighbors, you know, like snakes and rats and things like that. Live in that overgrown yard.
No, I think everybody's aware of all that.
Yeah, I mean.
And we just haven't
It's
been
a,
able
it's
to
a
do
legal,
anything.
it's a legal mess, because we have the same problem on Brophy with Ron
Right.
Staley.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. All
Right.
he's done is renovated what you can see over his illegally high fence, and he's still got old plywood, and it's still the same rat trap, you know,
Right.
maybe not rats, because it's full of cats
I
again.
was gonna say the cats keep the rats under
Yeah.
control.
I have friends that live on the other end of the street, and, yeah, they.
No, it's been a problem for 7 years. Frank's been trying to help us out. I
Right.
mean, it's become a legal issue. The house has been condemned. He won't allow anybody in for inspections. So you get that problem of, you know.
Yeah, Arizona has very strict laws on private property. It's hard to move on it. And,
Yeah.
but I think if you found out if the taxes are, if it has gone to lien, then somebody can go in and purchase those liens and
Fix it up,
own the house.
yeah.
I don't think that's the case, because I think that would have been done.
Well, I don't know. I mean, let's find out. Let's have Joe look into
Yeah.
that.
So,
And he can
yeah.
update you guys next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, the
great,
taxes
we
are
do
gone.
appreciate it, Joe, thank you.
Can you also, when you're checking into that, whatever you might find out, you could maybe possibly give us some guidance on what's the next step to take?
Yeah, I've given it to the city attorney several times in different, you know,
That's what I was
we've had so many
gonna
different
suggest.
attorneys over the years.
So what, so they're log jammed.
But as long as it's owned by somebody who doesn't have a personal representative that's been appointed by the court, we can't serve anybody. If we can't serve anybody, we can't do anything, is what I've taken from what the attorneys have told me.
So
Does
we'll
that
talk-
include eminent domain?
Yeah, and we can't really do that. Well, I'll talk to the attorney and Joe can, we'll see if we can get this back going again. The city attorney.
Yeah, I mean, once you find out information, where do we go from there?
Yeah.
I've been wrestling these things since my first week,
Yeah, it's been.
9 years ago.
Right.
And trying to get, and I foolishly thought I could get something done.
I know, well, we thought we were close at one time, but we didn't.
But you were mistaken.
It was on the agenda the first.
Too many words and not enough action all the time.
Right.
And I had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
And now you really know what you're talking about. Okay, great, are there any, future agenda item suggestions apart from that we revisit this 805 Tombstone Canyon? Anything anybody has on their mind they'd like to discuss?
Okay, can I just ask a question, Joe, and maybe you could answer this for me? We have numbered applications, and they'll go from 82 to 83 to 87 to 91, 92. Where are those other applications?
Those other applications are probable that they're like roofs and some of those things that wind up with a administrative approval.
Could as a courtesy to the board, could you possibly just list those as, because I don't have any problem with with the staff
Yeah,
doing it.
you guys should be aware of what's being.
I'd like to know what those missing ones are.
The administrative approval ones.
Because there's signs that get approved, If it
Again,
fit a narrow parameter, they're easy for me to give an administrative approval
Yeah,
for.
no.
And most of them are gonna be roofs.
We've talked about this before, how much easier it is on all of us if you do that administrative approval, but I would like, as a courtesy to me, I would like to see.
I agree.
I think in the past that was done, and it'll be good to have that.
I would like to have that back in the,
Yeah, those should be scanned and sent to you guys
yeah.
as they're done.
So you know what's been.
So we know
But I'm
what's
only
been
here,
done.
you know, I'm only here temporary today.
What do you mean temporary tonight?
Well, I'm here temporary, I'm not the staff liaison. And the staff liaison wasn't able to make it today, or the.
Who's our staff liaison?
Nina Williams?
Well, then what are you doing sitting over there?
What's that?
He's also
I'm the
staff
council
liaison.
liaison.
We have two of them.
I'm the council, not the staff.
We
No,
kind
but
of,
why are you sitting over there as staff
usually sits
liaison
up there.
and Nina's running the meeting?
no, I'm not staff liaison.
He's not, he's just-
I don't come to every meeting.
He's just coming as,
You have been lately.
What's that?
Yeah, you've been coming out of the kindness of your heart?
Well, I was asked to come because there's a lot of clarification that I give to a lot of these things.
I love having you here.
Yeah, so do we all do.
I really enjoy the DRB.
Okay.
All who love having Joe Ward here say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, okay, I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
yeah,
Thanks.
it's a good meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, good job.
Moved right along.
One door west
Yes.
from Lockwood.
And I knew